everyone, and welcome to the Pint Pals podcast. We invite you on this journey to explore the world of craft beer. Each episode, we'll take a new step into the craft beer world to help you find the best ones. We'll sample some beers, give our rating on them, and share some laughs along the way. So please join us, and remember, craft beer is for everyone.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Pint Pals podcast. It is I, Lucas, and unfortunately, Nate is not able to be with us this week, but instead, I am joined by none other than Jordan from the Beer Dabbler. Welcome back, Jordan. It is now your third year on the episode, and as far as guests go, you will have the spot for maybe an alternate host at this point, I would say, for 3 episodes, and we've done 59. This is going to be the 59th episode, so...
I'll take that greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I think that's the first time I've ever experienced something like this. So thank you for having me on once again to chat all things Beer Dabbler.
Yeah, of course. So for listeners out there that don't know what Beer Dabbler is, Beer Dabbler is, now correct me if I'm wrong,
Sure.
kind of it's a craft beer store now in Minneapolis. It didn't always start out that way.
So yeah, I'll just jump in right away.
Yeah, absolutely.
So wrong, Luke. I'm just kidding. No, so Beer Dabbler started in 2013 really as just like a craft beer festival, like just a few tents popped up in a random park as like a community thing. And then since then we have become the biggest beer festival company in the Midwest with 2 large festivals a year. The Winter Beer Dabbler, of which we're talking about today, is coming up on the 24th of February, and that's at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds. And if you know anything about the Minnesota State Fair, you know that it's a large, very large fair, and we are actually proudly the second largest event to happen at the fair other than the state fair itself. So it's just a big beer party. But then obviously the pandemic happens and COVID's all over, and so we can't have events. Events companies are going to be the first casualties of that pandemic, and so we kind of pivoted, and I am now sitting in our it's called Dabbler Depot, which is in St. Paul on West 7th Street. It is a boutique liquor store with always cold craft beer, wine, spirits, and then we also have a coffee shop, an adjoining coffee shop that sells low dosage cannabis products such as gummies and seltzers and topicals and a bunch of other different fun products, including a full espresso bar so you can get your mocha and latte and get on with your day. But really, so Dabbler Depot was a result of Beer Dabbler not being able to have events during the pandemic. And yeah, so Beer Dabbler is the festival company, and Dabbler Depot is the retail company of this Dabblerverse we've built here in St. Paul, Minneapolis.
I appreciate you explaining that, because I thought I was going in the right direction with it, and I totally forgot how you guys actually started.
Yeah, we maybe that's on me because this is my 3rd visit, and you might not have the full lore. You don't have the lore, the Dabbler lore yet. I gotta write the backstory, fill out all the maps, and write the songs and languages like J.R.R. Tolkien did. I think I could do that. Create a whole verse.
And then you could stretch it out into 3 movies that could be fixed with a 5-second thing that happens in the last movie. So
really, it should. In reality, it's gonna be like a 6-minute long movie that should be a 3-minute movie for me. That's the story here. Are you drinking on a beer over there in Ohio?
I have one here.
Oh,
you want to crack into it?
One. All right, I will.
Oh, what's that?
This is Glick beer. Glick is actually one of the not the oldest brewery in Minnesota, but definitely in the top echelon of the old farts. And this is their Pilsner Pale Lager. It's a Bohemian style. I believe it's probably sitting around 4.1% ABV. Something simple. We are recording this on a Monday, so Not trying to get too into it too early in the week. What do you got?
This is Juice Bomb Northeastern IPA from Sloop Brewing, out of Hopewell Junction, New York. I always pick up a 12 pack of these every time I go back to my parents' house. It's a 6.5% juicy IPA.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, cheers, my friend. Thanks for having me.
Well, cheers, of course.
Just
So,
the bean sound. Should I put my throat right?
hey, yeah, we can do some ASMR. Where the Pine Pals podcast is always expanding.
I don't know if that came across, and also I don't know if I want to come across.
I didn't hear it, but
Yeah,
it's going to be a great visual effect of you.
art's always subtle, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Or at least my art. But yeah, yeah, the festival. Sorry, coming back. The festival coming up on February 24th at the fairgrounds, as always, and we're really excited to throw the biggest party in Minnesota once again.
So this is Nate and my third year of coming to the festival. The past 2 years have been a lot of fun. It's been great for us to try a bunch of beers that we normally would not have the chance to. When we were there last year, we recorded live on location for the first time, which was a lot of fun because, in my opinion, I had a ton of fun interviewing a bunch of random people that didn't think they were going to have a microphone in their face today.
Yep, I'm used to that.
And the other half of people just side-eyeing us the whole time, just like, what are they doing with a backpack and microphones coming out of it? Some people thought that we weren't recording at all and that it was just a big joke. And
do it for the bit, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. We had, oh, good. There was a lot of that episode that needed to be edited out. It took me a full day of editing just to get it down to the usable parts, because for about 10 minutes, somebody was doing Borat comedy.
I bet that the age even remotely well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't age that great, and when you're not as drunk as the person that you're talking to, it's a huge bit of like, all right, I'm trying to have a conversation here.
Yeah, I've noticed that there are definitely patterns and trends to the types of people that come to these events. And granted, like I'm working on the day, so I'll have like a hams or two. And I think I've told you this before, but like I'm pretty much stone sober on the day. Like I just got to do work, and I know that if I'm having beers, the work's not going to get done. And this is one of two big events a year that I really need to do my job well. So, I definitely know that feeling of not being able to match some people in terms of their chutzpah.
We had a fun interaction last year where we were interviewing somebody, and they noticed us because we had Columbus Crew hats on, and they were like, "Oh, Columbus Crew," and then started talking to us. We found out that we had gone to college with both of his brothers.
Just like small world type situation.
The smallest of worlds. And since Nate and I went to a very small school, we knew these guys. One of them was in residence life with Nate as an RA. So
see,
it was really crazy.
Just bringing people together. I always love the stories of when people get engaged at our events. I have on video actually, and the thing is like I've tried to follow up with these couples to be like, hey, if you know who these people are, tag them, let me know so I can like I have footage of people getting engaged, and I don't know what to do with it, and I cannot in my right mind delete it. But sometimes I need some extra space on my hard drives, But
yeah.
yeah, we love just the plethora of people that come to these events. And it's really, I mean, it's February in Minnesota. There's not like, unless you are rich and can ski and snowboard every other weekend, or, have a lake house to go to and enjoy, cuddle sessions in the cabin. Like, there's not a whole lot to do in February in Minnesota. Granted, this year is a little different. I bet you actually have more snow than us right now. Do you have any snow?
No snow.
Oh, okay.
We
Yeah,
had 2 inches like about 3 weeks ago, and that was as much snow as we've had.
that is more than we've gotten. This is Minnesota.
That's
We have gotten one dusting, and then like one like half inch of like stuff that stuck around for 3-4 days, gone. And now, like, this is I'm 30 years old. This is the weirdest winter I've ever experienced in Minnesota, for sure. And so hopefully we'll have some white on the ground by event day, but if
are
we're
you
not a huge deal.
are you telling me there's a chance I may not have to bring my second suitcase that's just full of my winter jacket and my boots and my snow pants and my 3 pairs of wool socks and my thermals?
See, now, Lucas, I said it's not snowy. I didn't say it's not cold. This is actually, no, today is unseasonably warm. Again, we probably hit 45 today.
Yeah,
which
we were.
February and March are usually the coldest months in Minnesota. We're like usually around 20 to 30 below zero at this point. So that's a 70-point swing, or 70-degree swing from what we're used to today. Like, I'm wearing a t-shirt. I just wore a t-shirt to work today, and it happened to be for the event that I'm promoting. So.
This is actually hilarious because in the last episode that Nate and I did, I was talking about how the past 2 years, like the first year that we went, it was kind of just very cold. There was snow on the ground, yeah, but the main thing was it was just bitterly cold.
Yes.
And last year, I felt I was perfect. I had just the right amount of layers on, and I was comfortable the whole day. But I told Nate that I was like, I want 1 year where we're out there trying to get beer and there's a blizzard going on. I want it to be like out there, like fighting through the snow, trying to get to the next beer tent.
We've had it. We've had events like that, not since, unfortunately, COVID, but yeah, the first year back after COVID was your first year, and that was very cold. There was very little snow. It was more ice and cold than it was anything else, but that's extremely on brand. And then last year was very snowy because we got dumped on like the 2 days leading up to the event. So we had a massive amount of snow, but temperatures were mild. And here I am, a classic Minnesotan, just talking about the weather. But the thing is, like, you can't have snow without mild temperatures, and Minnesota isn't a fan of mild temperatures. We just go extreme to extreme. So the window for snow to happen is between like really 18 and 28 degrees. Other than that, it's just going to be cold and sunny, or cloudy and cold. Like, that's just, hence why we have this event. We got to get people out of the house. We got to have people, drinking around other people and enjoying what, especially like Minnesota breweries have to offer, but Midwest breweries.
Oh, yeah.
We get some national breweries, but it is, I'd say 80%.
And some Texas ones.
Yeah, we got some Texas ones. We got guys coming in from Pennsylvania. We got some folks coming in from
who's coming in from Pennsylvania? Do you know? Is it Fourscore by chance?
I could not tell you off the bat. I would be digging deep into spreadsheets, and spreadsheets are my
don't worry about it. It'll be a nice surprise.
But yeah, we're also gonna have something fun and exciting this year. It's in addition to 150, 180, 100, maybe 200 breweries. We will have in the Coliseum. Lucas, did you go into the Coliseum last year?
Last year we did not make it into the Coliseum.
Okay, so in the Coliseum there will be the Minneapolis Craft Market, MCM, and there will be 30 to 40 different vendors, all just different arts or craft or mercantile vendors, which is super fun because, go on.
I was going to say, I did notice one of them just scrolling through Instagram. It was, I think, one of the suggested ones, or it might have been even one that Beer Dabbler shared, but a woman who designs craft beer glasses.
Yep.
I spoke to her, and we're going to be stopping by her table to get a
Mm.
quick interview with her while we're in there.
Hell yeah. One thing I should say is that that area is going to be cash only. So plan accordingly for that. There will be ATMs at the site, but we don't run them, so you're paying the fees of those ATMs to the man, which whatever. But yeah, I mean we're also going to be having in the Coliseum a group called Piano Fondue, which is a dueling pianos act, which is going to be a lot of fun. We've never had a kind of the back to back, or maybe not back to back, but we've never had, dueling pianos as entertainment in there. And so it'll be a fun, engaging thing for people to sip on some samples and watch two very, very well trained pianists go head to head.
That's awesome. Yeah. Are you doing the snowmobile?
Yep. The Soaring Sleds group, they will be doing some high flying entertainment with their machines. We colloquially call them BRAP. When we're talking about them in our meetings, they're called BRAP because that's the sound a snowmobile makes, is BRAP, 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 BRAP. And so however, with the snow situation or lack of snow situation, we might be only doing, I know they have a couple dirt bike riders and like stunt ATV riders. We might be doing that approach because the snowmobiles need snow to be able to not go straight, but in order to turn around, they need snow. So we might either ship in some snow or only do dirt bikes and ATVs. Who knows? We don't know, but yeah, they will be there, and hopefully we don't have any injured riders this year like we did last year.
Oh no, I didn't hear about that.
There was a rider. Yeah, there was a reason that they only did like probably 10 jumps total. Because on like one of the last, or actually no, on one of the first like performance jumps that they did, there's 3 riders and then one like MC type guy. He's kind of the organizer of the group because these guys are like X Games athletes. These guys are the guys that tour around the world, do stunt shows, do nitro circus, do all sorts of fun things, and most of them are Canadian, by the way, and they're absolutely lovely. But one guy basically, like, here's the landing ramp, like that. He basically like went off the ramp and like knuckled the back of the jump and then like fell, and the landing ramp's 18 feet tall, so it was like not a short fall. And in order to land safely so that the snowmobile wouldn't land on him, he had to like push it away in midair. I witnessed this. Like I was droning, I was doing
Wow.
during it. Unfortunately, I wasn't recording when it happened, but I witnessed it with my eyes. And he like, as he was falling, he had to push the sled away from him, which obviously threw off his balance. So he landed like on his shoulder and hip. So I know that he broke his collarbone, but the sled landed sideways and then immediately went like full rev. So it just went, and so like with a broken collarbone and probably broken hip, this guy goes and lifts this like 500-pound machine onto its, normal right way up.
Yeah.
Kill switch, and then just collapses in pain and agony. So really, we only got probably 8-10 good jumps out of them before 2 of them had to bring their friend to the, urgent care. While one rider, Chris Kuzman, he stuck behind and thankfully put on a little bit of a show for everybody who was still around. So thank you, Chris Kuzman. But yeah, I think the gang will be back this year, and hopefully they will be applying adequate velocity before taking off the jump.
No, that's great. I hope, like you said, yeah, no injuries this year for sure. Are you still doing all the ways to keep everybody warm this year? Are you doing the hot air balloon baskets and the?
Yep. I mean, it's a winter festival in Minnesota, so we know we gotta give ample opportunities to warm up. So we've got a dozen fire pits all manned and being continuously fed with very dry wood. And then I think the most exciting thing and most visually appealing for me as a cameraman and videographer is the hot air balloon torches. Torches. What would you like? Fire spout? I don't know.
Burner.
Burner might. Yeah, burner's good. The hot air balloon burners. So those will just shoot 40-foot columns of fire into the air, and people can stand near them and just kind of warm up on a cold February day.
Nate and I did that, and for some reason we were still recording while we were there, trying to have a conversation. Uh, and then we don't realize how loud those things are until you go to like edit the podcast, and you're like, "Oh yeah, no, I really like this," and that's all you hear. I'm like, okay, well, this is 15 minutes I got to cut out.
Yep. But hey, gotta keep the people warm. Gotta keep the people cozy. But also, that's one of those things. It's like if you're coming to this festival, you gotta know how to dress. Like you're outside. Granted, you can go into the Coliseum, which there will be again, Minneapolis Craft Market, as well as other beer vendors, wine vendors, cannabis. Unfortunately, not THC cannabis, but more educational cannabis vendors. You can warm up, but yeah, you got fires, you got giant, like you said, hot air balloon burners, and then obviously beer. Beer keeps us warm, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been watching, like I did last year, your tips and tricks that you have for the Beer Dabbler.
Yeah.
Which I highly recommend everybody go check out. Are you doing it on TikTok, or is it just the Instagram page?
I will be uploading everything to TikTok more as like a rapid, because I know TikTok is much more like if you can link them up and make them be more sequential, not necessarily as one clip, but post them relatively close together. TikTok likes that more. But yeah, Instagram is rolling out two pro tips a week. And but yeah, I will also be probably collecting them all into one video file and putting them onto YouTube and making sure people know, because it's very easy to have fun at this event, but
Yeah.
the capacity for things to go sideways if not adequately like prepared or adequately, pacing yourself, like things can go squirrely pretty quickly. So we want people to have fun, and most of these pro tips these are ways in which you can maximize your day and not leave with frostbite or not your spouse. I don't know.
Uh, I so last year I got together with some craft beer content creators at the festival, and one of the guys I was with showed up to the festival, and he had a winter jacket on, but he was wearing, I think, Converse or Canvas Vans and ripped jeans. And I was like, yo, my guy, you're gonna be cold. And he goes, he's from Chicago, so I was like, yeah, I thought he was gonna be, a little bit about the cold, and I was like, man, I told you this stuff that you should be wearing at this thing, and he goes, no, you're over exaggerating. He left about halfway through and went to a Target to buy all that stuff, and then came back for the second half of the festival.
Yeah, there's like I said, a lot of ways in which it can go right, and then many ways in which it can go wrong. So dress up. I always say my one mantra is cotton is rotten. Do not wear cotton. People wear wool as a base layer or a polyester wool blend. Heck, if you really are feeling slutty, just go full polyester, but do not go with cotton, because cotton, if it gets wet and cold, it stays wet and cold and sucks the warmth out of you. So wool and polyester are your friends, and waterproof footwear, depending on, granted, today, I mean, I might be wearing shorts at the event, but we still got 19 days to go as of this recording. So we will be diligently watching the weather.
Along with the great beer, the craft fair, the entertainment that's going to be there, are you still doing all the food trucks that
Yeah,
you
in
had?
fact, yeah, great question. We actually increased the food truck alley to, it was last year, I think 14 trucks. And this year we are doing, I think 20 trucks total.
Okay.
Just to, we had the space and we knew that we wanted more variety, because again, everything comes down to, it's a beer festival. Have some food in your stomach. Enjoy the local options for food trucks from all types of cuisines. So we wanted to just obviously be a platform for more exposure for everybody.
And the food trucks are going to have the card ability, so you don't have to be carrying around.
Correct. Yes. Food trucks, they are all operated themselves. So if they take card will be accepted. And obviously that's kind of the trend these days. So card, yes. Cash is for maybe if you want to buy merch on location, and also the Minneapolis craft market, which will be in the Coliseum. Yep. That's cash only. There will be ATMs, but never hurts to stop at the old bank Rooney and grab a few 20s.
I know that there's an amazing beer selection there. Are there? I'm sure there's. Is there more breweries than last year, or just about the same?
It's going to be about the same. Yep.
About the same.
Yeah, we've got
Are there
a
any
few...
like big secret ones or anything like that? Like you got like some real out of the people that don't normally show up for festivals, or maybe some big out of towners or something like that.
If that were the case, I don't think I would tell you this long out from the event. We gotta pull that thread a little bit longer. So I'll leave it at that. You will find who you find at the event, and I know that it's a pretty exciting collection of obviously some of our old favorites, but definitely some new kids to the block, and also out of towners that this might be their debut, their Dabbler debut. So you just need to come and find out which breweries are going to be there. I'm not that is the tease we will be giving.
Our tickets are still available.
Yep. Yeah. Tickets are still available through day of. They do go up in price on the day. But right now, designated driver tickets, which are obviously not going to be served alcohol, but we have a plethora of NA options, as well as a lot of breweries are bringing their NA options. So designated driver tickets are $20. General admission tickets, which are so you get into the event from 3 to 6:30 p.m. That is $50. And then, the general admission from 3 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. is $55. And then the early access, $75 is an hour early. So 2 o'clock to 6:30 p.m. And I have never heard somebody regret spending the extra $20 to get the early access. I've heard stories of people almost making a full loop of the 160, 70, 80 breweries. Like at least all of the ones that they really wanted to stop at before general admission was allowed to enter the event. So the early access people, that is a value. That is a great value. So we highly suggest people go the early access route. But if GA is your style, then we will see you. We'll see you at 3.
As somebody who, for the first year, Nate and I did general admission. Last year we did the early access. Personally, I recommend the early access. It is that extra $20, but in my, I don't want to give my secrets away or anything like that. But the way that we do it is by the time general admission enters, the breweries that we haven't gotten, nobody is at that time, because everybody has gone to all of the hype breweries already and are hitting them up. And so we can just do a first lap, get all the main ones, and then our second lap is all the ones that nobody's gotten yet. So that's kind of how we do it.
Yep. Like I said, I've never heard anybody been like, rats, I wish I had that $20 back, because folks, it's unlimited beer samples. Most breweries, like I said, 160, 70, 80 breweries are bringing 4 to 5 different beers each. You're getting about 2-ounce pours, which honestly, that's too much. Like, it's a dabbler event. We like to say a lot of many things, or we're like, the whole thing about us is dabbling, and that means a little bit of many things. So sometimes 2 ounces might be a little steep. We tell our vendors, we tell our brewery partners to limit it to just an ounce. So it's up to them, obviously, how much they pour, but our rule is 1 ounce. And so think about the number of pours and different beers you can taste on a day. So we actually also, this leads into our app. go ahead, and if you're going to plan to attend the event, download the Beer Dabbler app. There's going to be the full list, the full location of every brewery that's going to be there. When these breweries do their homework, we know exactly what beers they're pouring, so you can kind of chart out your path, and then you can also create kind of like your itinerary, like a okay, my to-do list. I know I need to hit this brewery. I know I need to hit this beer, like whatever it is. You can kind of plan out your whole afternoon. So download that app, and that's going to also have a lot more information about the event on it. So
Your app, the Beer Dabbler app, is something that I think all of the bigger beer festivals need to take note of, because it is fantastic, especially for those people that, got to get that untapped itch. And there's a lot of people out there. So I mean, with how many people are out there, you're not going to have self-service.
correct.
So trying to log on and doing untapped there, you're going to spend 20 minutes just trying to get untapped to work.
We
So,
that actually, God, Lucas, you were just leading me with this carrot, because we
hey,
have actually also partnered with Untapped this year.
oh,
Untapped is promoting the event as well as kind of creating a specific event page, so people can join their communally and post whatever they want to as they want to that kind of forum, Untapped, specific event. Um, and because we know that's how a lot of people interact with their craft beer experience. And I think it is live as of yesterday. I haven't quite logged into the admin side of things yet and seen what's what on that, but as far as I've been told by the team, there are untapped connections with this event. What are you finding? You look like you're doing some Sherlock sleuthing here.
Uh, but uh, in in Minneapolis,
Nice.
huh?
Nailed it.
Uh, we we go to this high class. The waiters come out. They've got the black pants, bow tie. They show you each of the cuts that they have, and what you can choose from. Uh, Fantastic steakhouse. The cocktails are excellent. Uh, it is definitely expensive, but in my opinion, it is well worth everything. The food is delicious. The experience is great. And if you're looking for that extra something, just to, like a nice night out, Manny's is the place to go, in my opinion. I mean, I've only been up there for 4 days, essentially.
I agree. Manny's, I mean, for me, I'm a local. Like I grew up around it and aware of it. And for me, it's still like a every 5, 6 year type restaurant because it is a pretty penny. But holy shit, I have never felt emotions about food and drink like I felt the first time. And since there, like wow, I'm not even getting paid by them right now. But here we are. Here we are. Just I gotta get Minneapolis going into people's minds.
I
Minneapolis gets slept on, I think, man.
I think it does get slept on. I also think Columbus gets slept on.
Yes. Yep.
Uh, I think, I think the Midwest is about to have a resurgence. In my opinion, I don't know if this is a hot take or a mild take at all. I think Columbus is the new Austin, honestly.
Wow. That is a hot take. I don't disagree. I don't
We've
disagree. But boy, oh boy, that's saying
we have
something, buddy. That's saying something.
we have Intel, Google, and Amazon all expanding here. And I think, I can't afford to buy a house here.
Yeah. That should be, signifier one right there. Like, oh shit. Oh, but hey, power to the little big little towns,
Yeah, little
We're
big cities.
we're little big little or big little big. I don't know. Like it's like I used to work in downtown Minneapolis for a few years and I had an hour for lunch every day. If I wanted to, if I had a pep in my step, I could circumnavigate the entire like downtown area
Hmm.
in an hour. Maybe just over an hour. But yeah, it's no Chicago, it's no New York, it's no LA, that's for sure. But hey, I have been all over the world and I love Minneapolis.
I think it's a gorgeous city. It's always fun. There's always something going on. Uh, the food choices there are always fantastic. And
Yes.
I mean, I've had, being from upstate New York, I'd go down to New York City every now and again and stuff like that. So maybe that has also helped me. I've never felt, like worried to walk downtown in Minneapolis.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's at least I'm going off of probably pre-pandemic numbers, but I know that Minneapolis was one of the most diverse cities in the world, having represented almost every, people group in some measurable, metric. I guess that was redundant, but also in terms of, yeah, just like crime and cleanliness, things have obviously everywhere has gone up and down and up and down. The last 3, 4 years have been goofy for everybody. But yeah, like to your point, I've never once been downtown. Um, yeah, it's just there's so much to see, so much to do, so much to see, so much to do. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? Um, that yeah,
And the
there's
beer
so
scene
much.
is great.
The beer scene is immaculate. It is. So many people just aren't aware of the beer scene here unless you're obviously here. But like during the Surly laws that we call them here, like right when it became legal to basically produce and distribute and have sales in your tap room, go figure. That's a very novel thought, but like it took Minnesota forever to get to those laws. And those laws kind of coincided with me being 20, 21, 22. which is sweet. So then I got into the I didn't really drink before I was 21. I just didn't. It wasn't a part of the environment I was in. It wasn't part of just my friend group. And then so when I started drinking, it was straight into like good, high quality, locally made craft beer that was still accessible because it wasn't just like it wasn't pricing people out. It was just the neighborhood brewery. It was the 2 miles away brewery, and the craft beer industry in Minnesota. I know craft beer as a whole is just kind of on the decline, but I have full faith in the Minneapolis scene to be able to pivot and adjust and adapt and make it work, because it's like it's not really about the beer around here. It's much more about community engagement and like the beer is immaculate and delicious, but like anybody who has a boiler can make beer. Anybody who has a big stock pot can make, like, the liquid is second to the community building, to the advocacy, to the different missions, and really whatever the brewery you're talking about is involved in. So I have a strong faith that the Minneapolis St. Paul beer scene is safe and sound.
Real quick before we wrap things up here, are you still doing like the ticketing events at
wristbanding parties? Yes.
Yeah, and a shuttle service, kind of mini shuttle service to and from the festival?
I can speak to both things. So yes, we have pre-wristbanding parties before the event, the day of the event. And these are events held at 3 relatively local bars and pubs that you can basically get your ID checked, these are things you're going to have to do at the event anyway. So it's like, it might be helpful to get it over with so that you can, once you get to the event site, you can just skip the lines and you can just go into the event. So we highly suggest people show up to one of these pre-wristbanding parties. And those are going to be happening at Gabe's on the Park, which is about a little less than a mile from the site. Stout's Pub, which is pretty much across the street from the event. A little bit of a walk because you got to like get to the main gate from there. But then the third one is at Tipsy Steer and High Pines Brewing in Roseville. So we are not responsible, or we don't know anything about the shuttle services. So if anybody has questions about the to and from the event from those sites, go ahead and reach out to those different wherever you end up going. Reach out to them on social media or email and see what they say. We cannot attest to anything revolving around the shuttle service, but that's where you can go, get your ID checked, get your wristband put on, have a beer or two, get a good base layer of like fries or like chicken wings or fried cauliflower, whatever it's going to be. And then get brought to the event, have a fun day, and then get brought back to where you started. So we highly suggest that, because sometimes you can lose a lot of the event, not a lot of the event, but you can lose valuable sampling, valuable dabbling time in that time after the event has started, but while you're still waiting in line to get in.
I mean, you paid for your ticket. You want to get that full experience. As somebody, who's gone to this event, both years we've gone to a pre-ticketing, pre-wristband event, and I highly recommend it. It cuts down the waiting time. It's pretty much you just hold your arm up, and I think in the general admission area, they put you in like a little, honestly, corral is probably the best way, and then they just, release the hounds.
Yep. The thing is we have hundreds of volunteers working this event with us, and they are doing the best that they can, checking IDs, getting wristbands on. They are going through thousands and thousands of people. So be sure to have patience, but also like just stop by one of those parties. Even if you don't want to use the shuttle, go get your wristband on, go get your ID checked, and you can just plop right into the event. And you don't need to bother those, not bother, but you don't need to deal with the volunteers at the front gate who are trying to make sure everything's kosher.
No, it sounds great. We're looking forward to it as always. You got anything else you want to add about the festival real quick?
Man, I'm just this is my favorite event of the year. Like beer related or not. I think it's just such a good excuse to get outside with a lot of similar minded people in terms of what you enjoy to drink and to eat. And it's just a good fun party environment that anybody can find something that they like. Anybody can find things that that suits their palate, whether it's alcoholic or not. And we're just super excited again to be putting on what we believe to be the best beer party in the Midwest.
No, I agree. It's definitely a ton of fun, and if you're in that area, highly recommend checking it out.
Yeah, definitely. We hope to see everybody there. And if you see me, if you see this face, probably it's gonna look like I'm gonna wear glasses. I'm gonna be probably wearing a hat similar to this. Stop me and say, hey, I'd love to chat and maybe
And
get
if
some candid or well, not candid because I'm absolutely gonna plan people like cheersing and getting the timing of my camera shots right. And the art doesn't just happen, Lucas. The art doesn't just happen. This sober boy has to make it happen. So he does.
and I think you do a great job with all of the pictures and videos that you put out for the event and stuff like that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's a lot of fun work. It's one of the cool jobs around. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm far from unhappy. That's for sure.
And the same goes for if you see two guys walking around with microphones coming out of their backpacks. That's going to be Nate and I. You know, we're going to be looking to kill time essentially the whole time we're there, going around recording live on location and hoping that our batteries are not dead and we're not checking them enough and stuff like that. And because if it gets too cold, those batteries don't last that long.
Right.
Uh,
Do you guys
so
have like a series of funny kind of questions or prompts that you're gonna pose to people?
Nate does.
Yeah, okay.
Nate's great at that.
Okay.
He had a whole list of stuff last year and was just asking people just crazy random questions. And we had some crazy stories as well. Like we ran into some people that the previous night or the previous couple nights ago, they were having an event with the Minnesota Wild, and they were showing us pictures of them with all of the players and drinking shots with uh,
Hockey
some
players
of
know how to
the
drink.
hockey players. Yeah,
Hockey players know how to drink. That's just kind of par for the course. In the state. There's a reason that there's leagues. They're called beer league hockey, and the games start at about 9 p.m. and it's just a bunch of old timers. Okay, no, I shouldn't say old timers. It's a bunch of guys who didn't quite go D1, and they're just there for the shits and giggles for sure. So, but hey, there's that there's at least a case or two on that bench, just getting slurped down during the three periods. So maybe
Oh, for
maybe even
sure.
four then too. Like it gets. You see some videos of some poor beer league hockey. It is it's a riot. It's a laugh. You can get on a rabbit hole of just bad beer league hockey because it looks like it's supposed to be good because the guys are all wearing helmets, wearing pads, but then nobody can touch the puck because they're all just slipping and sliding everywhere. So beer league hockey, look it up.
I've seen some of those videos and just like people slamming into the side and then like holding themselves up and just been like,
I'm okay.
I'm all right.
Or like totally missing on a slap shot and like spinning around after missing the slap. The puck hasn't moved. And then they fall over, and then somebody comes is like, oh, he missed the puck. And then they go to try to like get the puck, and then they like slide through and miss the puck. Like 5 people go for the puck. The puck won't get touched once because they're all like drunkenly anticipating what the other drunk guy is going to do. And that's just a recipe for unproductivity, I would say.
All right. Well,
State of hockey.
thank you very much, Jordan, for coming on. Third year in a row. And Nate and I can't wait to see you. We'll be sure to say hi and hopefully run into you before the festival at some point. I gotta stop in at the depot anyway. So
yeah, you gotta gear up for the pre-party or something.
Hey, I mean, I'm not gonna I was sent to another bottle shop in that area and I was not impressed. But when I went to the depot, I thoroughly enjoyed my time there.
Good. That is the goal. that is the goal we have. So we appreciate you stopping in. Thanks for having me on, man. This has been fun. This has been a good chat, and I hope that the Manny's, if I don't see you before Manny's, I hope Manny's sits well and treats you well.
Oh, it always does.
Good.
All right. Well, that brings us to an end of another episode of the Pine Pals podcast. We'll catch you next time.
See ya.
Bye.